Hello everybody, and welcome back to another season of 1350 West Street, a program about new developments at Berkshire Community College. My name is Rick Chrisman. I'm adjunct in the English department and host of this show. Today I have a very, very special guest to present to you in the person of Professor Frank Morgan. Frank is professor of mathematics, actually the Atwell Professor of Mathematics at neighboring Williams College. And he is here on a very unusual mission in that he is taking one semester of his sabbatical for this year to come to BCC and work with our students and our administration on things mathematical. And in a moment, you're going to see what an unusual person Professor Frank Morgan is. He is what I would have to call a math wizard, if you would just underline wizard. Welcome, Frank, not only to this show, but to BCC.
I'm having a great time here. Thank you, Rick.
I'm so glad to hear that. Mathematics is everybody's unfavorite subject when it comes to academics, it seems, and so you've carved out in your life and in your assignment in coming to BCC a very serious issue, and how to warm people up to this prickly subject. Is that what your mission is?
Actually, I think everyone loves math. It's just most people have been kind of cheated out of it in their lives. They had some bad experience, some bad teacher, and it scared them away. And it's very hard to come back after that. But you know, if you find some math that you understand and you can enjoy, nothing better.
Well, I'm inclined to believe you because when we talked before, you said that people often look at math as numbers, and we're all intimidated by that, but really math is about ideas. And then I thought, oh yeah, I can understand approaching it from that point of view. Could you say a little more about that?
That's exactly what it is. In fact, most of us are pretty bad at adding and subtracting numbers and so on.
Well, now in the age of the calculator, we've all gone
maybe not
downhill.
that important. But it is all about ideas and understanding how things fit together. My own work is in geometry. Mm-hmm. And so one question that I think about is why things are the shapes they are. For example, why is a soap bubble the shape that it is?
Okay, get ready, folks.
Well, we'll just have a soap bubble here. So there we see some bubbles, and have one distinguishing feature, the shape. The bubble is round. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes,
I got one.
It's round. And so the question is, why? Why is the bubble that beautiful shape?
It is beautiful.
And there's a general principle of geometry and physics that says that everything tries to be optimal, tries to minimize energy, or in the case of the soap bubble, try to have the smallest surface area for the amount of volume inside. And that's a geometry problem. And the circle, the round sphere, is the answer, as was proved by Schwarz back in 1884.
And the issue here is that it's trying to have the most efficient shape given the conditions.
Exactly.
Well, we have gravity, and then we have the material of which, oh, there's a gorgeous one.
Well, the great thing about soap bubbles is that they're so light, gravity doesn't matter. So all you have to do is minimize the surface area.
Well, it's not a perfect circle. Does that matter?
It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's practically.
Sometimes when it doesn't have a drip at the bottom, you know.
Right.
So you can ask a similar question about the shape you get when two bubbles come together. Notice if you have two bubbles, they come together and you get this nice double bubble shape. And you can ask whether that's the most efficient way to enclose and separate two given volumes of air.
Well, now, does this apply to, does this principle apply elsewhere than in bubbles?
It applies to everything because we're always trying to minimize something. The amount of effort we put into something, the costs in our business.
The amount of weight I carry, personally.
And the shape of the universe is a matter of minimizing certain physical principles, physical quantities. And if you want to understand the universe or economics or anything else, mathematicians say start with the simplest examples. Those are soap bubbles. So we set out to prove whether this double bubble is really the optimal shape, the way Schwarz did in 1884. And this was solved just a few years ago by my colleagues and students and me. It's the result I'm most known for, the proof that this double bubble is the optimal.
So you're telling us this is your claim to fame.
This is my big theorem. It's here right in front of you here, this double bubble.
Fascinating.
So I'll see how good you are at double bubbles. So here's a question. When these two bubbles come together like this, there's the little bubble and the big bubble and the surface between them.
Yeah, I can see
Is that surface flat? Or does the little bubble push, oh, now you're looking. Or does the little bubble push down into the big bubble? That's good. That's smart, see?
Well, I needed to get a better
Or does the big bubble push up into the little bubble?
Well, it looks like it's convex this way.
Yes, that's exactly right. Most people don't guess this, but you got it. The experimentalists, the scientists there, got it by looking at the evidence. Yeah, the little bubble pushes down into the big bubble. This is because there's more pressure in a little bubble. As you know, if you ever blow up a birthday balloon, right? It's harder to get it started at the beginning when it's small and tightly curved. There's more pressure, then the pressure goes down.
Great.
So this is, but we had to worry about all kinds of other double bubble shapes. Wow!
Wow! Fantastic. Oh my gosh! Now you've gone into the refinements of blowing bubbles. I don't think people normally think of.
Did you see that for a second? There was a bubble inside the bubble.
Yes, I did.
Wow!
Oh,
whoa,
there you
look
got
at
it.
that!
Does that show
look
up on
at
the
that.
camera?
But it
No.
pops out.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
it did.
inside. It pops out because it prefers to be this shape.
Well, I'm just fascinated. So there's a general tendency in the universe for efficiency.
Yes. Yes. Physics says minimize energy.
I just have to think about that. I find that utterly
Everything can be
interesting.
looked at as a max-min problem. That's right. And this is what students do in calculus, you know?
Well, I haven't taken calculus.
So all they're doing, they're trying to look at where something is biggest and where something's smallest. So most people are scared of calculus.
Yeah.
But if you want a free glimpse into one of the most important applications of calculus, we have an event coming up Tuesday.
Oh, that's Tuesday, October 28th? Yeah, well,
Halloween Tuesday.
Tell me about it.
Zombies and calculus.
What camera can pick this up? Zombies and calculus.
This will be a humorous, dramatic talk by my friend Colin Adams, who's going to come in the persona of a professor who explains how he survived the first 2 weeks of the zombie apocalypse by using calculus. You don't need to know any calculus to enjoy this. You may even see a zombie or two. In fact, I think I might be. I might appear as a zombie.
Manifest. Oops! Have you got a camera on that, folks?
Zombies and calculus. That's Tuesday, Halloween Tuesday, Tuesday the 28th of October, 12:15, Berkshire Community College, right there in that, right above the cafeteria in the so-called SBA lounge.
Oh, right. Well,
Won't be that long, 45 minutes.
Well, and the purpose of this being what, Frank? You're
To
just having
share
fun.
with everybody how interesting and fun math is, which is my main story.
Well, you know, I'm totally inclined to believe that because you can't imagine an entire industry of people in academics and in research devoted to math if it weren't fun in some way. I mean, I believe the pleasure principle operates it constantly, just like the tendency towards efficiency. And so you're gonna bring people to the fun of math.
That's the reason for studying it, and we all have to discover that. You have to love what you're doing or it's not worth doing. And students, you got to find a way to have fun doing math or it's not worth all the trouble.
Well, I'm sure that one of your challenges as a classroom teacher is getting people over the bumps, over the first failures and difficulties, because it's...
Well, you're going to have failures in anything you do in life, right? Anything you do always turns out to be much harder, much more problematic than you planned. All kinds of troubles come up. And what gets you through it? The fact that you have a certain love and optimism for it.
That's right.
And that's what it takes. And you have to constantly fight in life the bad experiences, which could overwhelm you. Some people get a little discouraged or depressed about life. But we have to come fighting back. We have to remember how much we love life and just try to keep at it and enjoy things the best we can.
Well, if you can convey that in a mathematics classroom, I'd say people would be darn lucky. And so you're introducing these ideas and this spirit into our community here at BCC. What do you do as special assistant to the president, to Ellen Kennedy? Is it this? It's partly teaching this developmental algebra class.
No, but for her, it's special things going on, like this Zombies in Calculus talk coming up. We're planning a bus trip down to New York City in November. 50 some of us, students and faculty, to see the Museum of Mathematics. I don't know if anybody saw this. You can't see this here, but it was just again in the newspaper. I got this from the Vice President, Fran Feinerman. The Museum of Mathematics, where there's all kinds of fun math stuff. For example, they have cars with square wheels.
Well, you're going to have to explain that. I mean, I was already boggled by the fact that there's a museum devoted to math. There's a museum for everything, but math, it's not just numbers, it's going to be ideas, right?
Exactly.
So now what about these square wheels?
Well, the square wheels, you think you get a bumpy ride? You get a perfectly smooth ride.
No way.
Now, how could that be with square wheels?
Yeah, please answer.
Well, it's because you have a very bumpy track that it rides on, and the square wheel matches the track perfectly and gives you a smooth ride.
Well, the track is not the normal path that cars take.
No,
right?
it's not. It has all kinds of steep bumps in it.
I see.
And the steep bumps just fit with the square wheels.
Well, maybe that'll work when it gets to be February and March around Berkshire County and the potholes. What else are you going to do at the Museum of Math? I mean, how many people are going? And
there are 50 some of us on this bus. We'll all be in a bus together. About 7 faculty, and the rest are students.
So you've organized not only this Zombies program and this museum. That's already a huge workload for someone on sabbatical who should be thinking ideas.
We're also organizing to go into the high schools and talk about the things we're interested in.
Really?
Of course, some of us talking about math, some of us talking about English, some will be talking about cooking, some will be talking about nursing. So
is this a group endeavor, or are you going as individuals?
Individuals. So these will be individuals who will go into the high schools. I just sent out a request, and some 40 people said they were interested in doing this, which is fantastic. And so we're putting this program together, and we'll be soon looking for schools that are interested in this.
I see. Well, you told me earlier, Frank, that one of your reasons for taking this, I think it's your 3rd sabbatical in your career, or at least your 3rd, maybe more, in this unusual role, because of your belief in the vital importance of community colleges in our educational system.
It's the future of education.
Well, you got to unpack that one. That
is because,
great.
Well, we're just now turning the corner where in the near future a majority of college students will be in the community colleges. Not these more narrowly focused colleges where it's a certain group of students, but from all walks of life, right out of high school, coming back after working, veterans, part-time students, full-time students, students who can't leave the home, students who can come into the school.
Well, we're constantly bumping up against financial restraints at the community college level. Not that four-year colleges and universities don't have their challenges too, but the particular crux for community colleges as state institutions, I think they're all public institutions. I don't know of other kinds, but anyway, we're constantly, the president of the community college is always having to lobby the State House for funds, and
it's very difficult, and yet you look and you see how far each dollar goes at the community colleges. It's one of the best bargains there is in the country today. One of the reasons I wanted to be here was where I thought that there was such a huge potential, and every little bit of progress you make can make such a big difference for the students here and for the implications in the future.
Well, one of the biggest differences between the community college and the regular residential four-year colleges is the fact that